So the fact that there's so many people going up for this Ice Bay woman and in the same breath dragging Omar tells you all you need to know about the state of this country. I'm the librarian and I came to read. So obviously I'm in a new location just for a couple of days. If you have paid attention to my YouTube videos over the past weeks, you will know that I'm currently in New Orleans. I was invited to speak for a couple of minutes about my work and my experience, and also to introduce a main keynote speaker at this global conference for the International Baccalaureate Organization. Now the IBO is where I got my high school diploma from. I'm sure there's some people who, at least some people who are familiar with it. It's kind of a I know I didn't do a whole lot of explaining of what the IB program is, but it's kind of like the AP program, except in my opinion it's much more intense. So I got my high school diploma from them, like I said, and when they reached out to me I was like, are you serious? You know, but they wanted me to come out here and speak and share my ideas, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm hoping that things like this can happen more often. At the time I'm recording this, it's on a Thursday. I'm not sure when you'll be seeing it. I'm not sure if you'll see it today, Thursday, or Friday, but Friday is the section of the conference that I'll be speaking at. I hope to record it, even if it's some unofficial footage. I hope to get something to you guys before Monday, just so you can live the experience with me. I want to thank all of you guys so much for your encouragement. It really does mean the world. Also, patreon.com/AdrianExpression. The schedule is obviously going to be a little bit wonky just because I'm traveling this week, but go ahead, go up there. There are some polls up there about the content that I will be creating and the articles that I will write, so go up there, cast your votes, and let me know what you want me to talk about. So obviously I brought my camera. I thought I was going to leave it at home, but I was just like, girl, you love to talk, so you might as well just, you know you're going to want to say something, so you might as well just bring the camera. So that's exactly what I did, and I'm glad that I did, because I saw what was going on with this Trump stuff and the Trump rallies and Ilhan Omar. Not only Omar, but AOC, Ayanna Pressley, Tlaib, all of them. I saw what was going on. I said, you know what, I can't help but to get up here and speak about it. So before I get into it, I want to make sure that we pay attention to the atmosphere. We pay attention to the culture that's going on at some of these Trump rallies. Like, really pay attention to what they focus on, what they get really riled up about, and how Trump kind of pours gasoline on a already destructive fire, okay? But before we get into that, I want to give some background information, really quick background information on Omar. Omar is 36 years old. She was born in 1982. She was elected to the Minnesota House of Representatives in like 2016, and in 2018 she was the first naturalized citizen from Africa. She's the first Somali American and one of the first Muslim women elected to Congress ever. So this is like the first, historic first all over the place. So you can tell by her work, you can tell by what she does that she's passionate about the things that she talks about. You can see it every time she speaks. She's someone who wants to protect her community, right? So, you know, there was this whole thing going on with AOC, with Ayanna Pressley, like I said, with Tlaib, and with Omar. So I forget if I don't know if it was a Republican politician or if it was just a talking head, like one of them commentators, but someone called all of them the four horsewomen of the apocalypse. Now, of course, I'm going to talk specifically about what happened with Omar, but let's focus on the four congresswomen in general and why a lot of people are so angry about them. The reason why a lot of these super alt-right, ultra-conservative people are angry about the things that these women are saying is because they're shaking the table. I feel like K. Michelle. They're shaking the table. And the reason why that's so just scary to them is because it's not only just what they're saying, it's the fact that they're starting conversations and they are influencing a new type of, I don't know if it's new, but it's definitely a pervasive type of ideology. It's going against the status quo. And the reason why that, you know, a lot of people don't like that, especially people at the top, they don't like that because a lot of these systems, they profit off of them. And what I mean by that is, when these women bring up, hey, we need to make sure that people have access to healthcare. We need to make sure y'all stop playing games with people's insulin and making the price skyrocket just so y'all can profit. That's something that's like, well, it's gonna hurt the top's bottom line because it doesn't matter that all these people are dying. It does not matter, for example, that climate change, they said, is gonna eat our asses alive in 2030. It doesn't matter because these oil companies, these big companies, they want to continue to make profit. They use that profit and lobby in these and pay off these politicians. So politicians at the top are getting paid off, and also the companies get to continue to trash our planet and make money. So they're not just over there saying cute shit. They're really digging deep into the broken systems that we have in this country, and they're saying like time is us up. We're tired of this. And I always say that they would not be receiving this type of intense backlash from, like I said, ultra conservatives, alt-right like that. They would not be receiving this intense backlash if what they were saying was not viewed as, you know, effective. They would just let their asses alone. They wouldn't be saying anything. But they see how quickly these ideas spread. They see them as dangerous. But what is funny is that these ideas were here for a long time. It's just the fact that now, for the first time in a long time, we finally have powerful people representing the people in Washington, D.C. for the first time in a long time. We have people who are not going, they're not even gonna kiss the asses of the Democratic Party, the establishment. They're not doing it. They're going to say what they have to say, and they're not going to apologize for it, and that's just gonna be on period. And the main talking point of the terrified alt-right is the fact that, okay, if you critique anything that America does, you hate America. And that is so preposterous. I covered Donald Trump's tweets already in a previous video, but he essentially was saying, and I'm gay paraphrasing over here, he was essentially saying, like, girl, if you have a problem with what America is doing, you can go back to the country that you came from with all the fucked up shit that's going on in there, with all the crime and all, you know what I mean? The governments don't even work, so you can go back to the country that you came from. It does, and that shit doesn't even make sense, because the woman that he was talking to, they either were born in the country or they're naturalized citizens. So it's just like, and Omar came over here, if I did my research correctly, Omar came over here as a refugee, right? So when we're talking about immigration, we're talking about immigrants, and these alt-right people, they love to say, well, we're here for immigrants as long as they do it legally, and it's, you know, they follow the rule of law and they make it over here not through illegal means. And then so this woman came over here as a refugee, legally a naturalized citizen, and y'all talking about sending her back. So, you know, at the end of the day, which we've been new, it's not about whether or not somebody follows the law. It's not about whether or not you came by the legal process of immigration. It's about the fact that y'all are racist, and that's it. And not only that, it's the fact that you dare anybody who's disenfranchised to ever speak up about their situations. You want minorities to lay down and just deal with the bullshit that we have been experiencing. And it's just like, I don't know where y'all getting this mentality from, because people have a breaking point. We're not just gonna sit here and deal with this shit for centuries and centuries. We're gonna have to say something. We're gonna have to say something. And like I said earlier, it's good to see those 4 people, and even the people that we don't know, even the people whose names we don't know, in Washington, D.C., fighting for the actual communities that they represent, fighting for people who have been voiceless for so long. And it's just like, when you shake that status quo up, and when the voiceless find their voices, I love the saying, when you have been used to domination, equality feels like oppression to you. And we haven't even gotten close to equality yet. It's just the people are tired, and they're saying it. And when they say it, these bigots, they love to be purposefully obtuse. They love to miss the point on purpose and say, oh, you hate America. It's almost like when they were all critiquing the policies of Israel, they wanted to jump to anti-Semitism. They want to say, oh, you hate Israel. It's just like, sis, stop acting like you care about anti-Semitism or racism suddenly. Girl, like I said earlier, missing the point on purpose. And I use the analogy of being in a relationship, or being in a friendship, or being in a family. It is a dangerous place to be in if you are in any type of interaction and you can't have the freedom of critiquing what's going on. You can't say, for example, if you're in a family or a relationship, you can't say, hey, what you did over there right there, it kind of hurt me. So let's sit down and figure out how to address the problem so that we can move forward. It's not like you hate the person, it's not like you hate the relationship, it's not like you hate the family. It's the fact that you want to make sure that you feel safe in whatever interaction that you're in. You know what I mean? So for people to miss the point on purpose, it just lets me know where their head actually is. And I love how the 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse, I love the squad, like they said, I love how they came together and responded to Donald Trump's tweets. And specifically, I love the argument that Omar used. She called him a hypocrite, and she's exactly right. She was saying that, you know, it does not make sense for you to think that just because we're critiquing certain policies that America has, that we hate America. Especially not when she's saying you, Trump, ran your whole campaign off of Make America Great Again, meaning that you also were critiquing America, meaning that you also felt like America was missing something and you wanted to improve it. So how can you say that we now hate America when we also want to improve it, when we also think that America's missing something, when we also think that there's, you know, policies here that can be changed for the better? How can you say that? And when there's no room for questioning, and when there's no room for improvement, unless it looks like how you want it to look, which honestly is looking more and more racist as the day goes by, that's the foundations of fascism. But we all know that. So I absolutely love how she responded, how she handled that. All of them actually, like I said, they came together, did I think a little press conference and responded to all of the foolishness. But like I said earlier, I want you to pay attention to what goes on at these, and I don't like giving him so much of my time and so much of the limelight. I do not like focusing on Donald Trump and his rallies and his base, but I think it's very important that we pay attention to it, because even the stages of genocide, and like I said, you can go onto patreon.com/AdrianExpression, sign up. That's one of the topics that you get to, you know, vote on if you want me to talk about. Those are one of the topics I put up for my article, is just the stages of genocide. You have dehumanization, classification, preparation, then actual genocide. It's a bunch of steps, and if you read through them, look it up. If you read through them, it looks very familiar to what we see right now. I remember somebody, I think it was a Holocaust survivor, was saying how these ICE raids are starting to, they look like what he experienced. They look like Nazis, the ideology of the Nazis. But yeah, I really wanted to make this video so that, you know, we all understand that we have to make sure to keep encouraging these people who are speaking to power. We had to, you know, they're freshman congresswomen, like I said, there are names in Washington, D.C. that we don't know of that are also fighting, but we have to make sure that we stand up for them, we keep encouraging them, that we protect them as best that we can, because they are really in danger. Every time they speak, they're in danger because they don't have as much access, they don't have as much political power as some of these other people, and the people that they're fighting against are monsters and they'll do anything, and you know, they're getting all types of death threats and stuff. So I can only imagine how much emotional labor it takes. I can only imagine how much strength and courage it takes to stand up there and speak unapologetically and even face opposition from within your own party, because as much as some of these Democrats love to think that they're progressive and love to think that they want to change what's going on, a lot of them are very establishment. A lot of them want to meet Nazis halfway, and it's just like how do you do that? How do you meet a murderer halfway who wants your head? Talking, oh well, we gotta see it from both sides. Well, if the other side wants to kill my ass, I'm not trying to see it from that side. What are you talking about? So I can, like I said, it takes so much strength. People are encouraged and they're invigorated because they see these people who are up there speaking, saying some shit without kissing ass, standing up for the communities who've often been so voiceless. So that's why we gotta protect them. We got to protect them. But yeah, I'm done rambling and preaching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try and see if I can see the Lion King tonight. So that means there are probably gonna be some more videos to come. I want to see if I can enjoy my time in New Orleans. So, you know, the schedule might be a little off, forgive me. But yeah, thank you all so much for your support, and I hope that you have a good goddamn evening.